Welcome to Watch It or Don't. I'm Matt with Dan and Tom, and today we'll be reviewing Creed, the newest installment in the Rocky franchise, and who's it directed by, Dan?
Ryan Coogler, who is the director of Fruitvale Station a couple years ago. This is the 6th Rocky movie since 1976, the original.
But Rocky's not the star here.
He's not.
It's Apollo Creed's son. I don't think that's a spoiler alert from what you can tell from the trailers. But this is an interesting way how they're carrying forward the legacy of the Rocky movies through Apollo Creed.
Right. So his son's name is Donnie Johnson. He doesn't take on the Creed name per se. It's played by Michael B. Jordan, who is just one of the most young, talented actors out there today.
One of the most likable actors out there today.
He's great. Fantastic Four maybe aside, but he is awesome, and he steals this show.
He does.
And he takes on this franchise on his own.
He does.
Not on his own, because Sylvester Stallone is still in this as Rocky. Right. He's a little older. He's in his 70s. But I have to say, there's 3 things that had to work in this movie. First of all was Michael B. Jordan as the boxer trying to train and become this, heavyweight champion or whatever. You need Sylvester Stallone acting as Rocky, but maybe not phoning in like
not
Sylvester
the caricature
Stallone.
either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sylvester Stallone maybe hasn't been the most interesting actor of the last 20 years.
Right.
And then Ryan Coogler's directing, which could have gone one way where it's just you film some boxing fights, you make it inspiring a little bit.
He could have put it on autopilot this whole time.
All 3 of these guys step up to their A game, I think.
I mean, I've always been a big fan of Michael B. Jordan. Like I said, he's just so likable. But I was never a fan of Sylvester Stallone. I respect him for the original Rocky. I do not like it. I do not like Rocky.
You don't like Rocky? Okay.
No, it's such a bland movie to me.
See, I think it's okay, but I agree with you. I love the story of how that movie got made and how that's a great Hollywood story.
So I don't care about Rocky at all. Creed was really good. Sylvester Stallone actually has some really nice acting in this movie.
He does.
And there's a scene where he's just sitting alone in a cemetery, and it's this really short scene, but it's really sweet. And like, this is the first time that you see, or that I saw, Rocky Balboa as an actual human being rather than this like weird quirky dude that likes to box.
It was nice that he wasn't goofy.
Yeah,
it easily could have been goofy in the cemetery scene.
All the characters, the main characters in these movies, or this movie, they're all 3-dimensional. Michael B. Jordan, he's obviously the son of Apollo Creed, but he doesn't want to be that. He starts off, before he becomes a boxer, he's like an investment financial guy. And you can tell like he's dynamic. And he's not being called a boxer just because his dad was a boxer. He's like, he's got something driving him.
Well, and a lot of that also has to do with the fact that he never knew his father, and his father was this great legend. So for him, it's this thing where he almost hates his father for this, but at the same time has to try to live up to it and be his own person, but follow along, and it's an impressive motive, and it's for Michael B. Jordan to get across, for Ryan Coogler to get across, and it totally works.
I should say the love interest in this is played by Tessa Thompson. And she's also great. She's kind of a musician. There's more to her that maybe meets the eye. She's not just your typical, like, oh, she's the boxer's girlfriend, throw in the corner. Like, no, she's dynamic too.
Which I feel like they left a lot there if they ever do a sequel. Like, there's a lot more to her character that I would like to see as well, which I think we will.
Yeah, I think this is a very unique sequel. It's like probably the best sequel idea I've heard in a while.
I don't even really want to call it a sequel. It's almost its own. It's its own thing.
It's
almost
a franchise rejuvenation.
But it was exactly the type of thing that a franchise like Rocky needed. Whereas you see a lot of things coming now where you just want it to stay dead. But if there was anything that you could do to make Rocky, this important franchise again, it was Creed.
They nailed it.
Before we jump into ratings, let's talk about the actual boxing, because there is boxing in this movie.
Yes, there is.
And if you go back and watch our Southpaw review, you would know that we maybe don't like boxing that much.
I really don't like boxing.
But Ryan Coogler's direction in this makes boxing exciting in the way the original did. There is a fight in the middle of the movie that is super amazing to watch. I don't want to spoil it because you'll know when it gets there. It's amazing. I was tapping Tom on the shoulder like, this is really good. And then the final fight, it's your very typical Rocky fight. There's ups and downs. You get into it. It's intense. The music is great.
I do love this because it's the classic music and it just gets you pumped for it. And there is newer music as well, but I also liked it going back to the older films as well.
It was in fact, the whole movie was very you know, like self-referential to the whole Rocky series, but it didn't really feel like crappy or like I mean there were some kind of dumb jokes in there, but it never felt overly cheap.
And it wasn't a parody of the original. Right. It's not like you have Michael B. Jordan drinking the eggs whole, doing his punching the meat and like
and there's a little bit of that, but
there's enough nods to the original where they're not just blatantly copying that, which I liked. There's enough nods for people that are like, oh, I really like this because I've watched the series from the beginning. And then if you don't know anything about it, you'll enjoy this film.
Yeah, I don't think you need to know. I mean, you'll miss some references. But,
I mean, maybe, but
it doesn't hurt the story.
But they're pretty good about, again, and a lot of this comes with the three-dimensional characters, really good acting job on all three main characters. You understand exactly what's going on, even if you don't quite get the references,
Right. Let's jump into ratings. Why don't you go start, Tom?
This movie I really expected and kind of wanted to hate. Which, again, I don't like Rocky. I don't like boxing. Came off Southpaw, which was terrible. Yeah. This movie very clearly earns a great. I think it's hard to decide what is my favorite bit, whether it's the acting or the direction, which actually made me want to watch a boxing match, which, again, that's pretty rare. And just all around, really solid, really well done.
Yeah. Matt, what do you got?
I'm kind of following up that a little bit. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Mm-hmm. I think it's the best I've ever seen Stallone do in a movie, other than maybe the original Rocky. Yeah. So, I mean, because usually he's just kind of been the, and in this, it's like, wow, way to be a character.
I mean, I loved it. He's still a bit, he's just...
But with heart. There's more heart behind it here, which I love. It's not cheap.
All right, so I'm giving it 8.3 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's one of the better ones of the year, which is really surprising.
Yeah,
this was not on my radar at
all. It's a fighter, this one.
It is. And I was into it. I love the characters. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes or so, but it doesn't feel long, I don't think.
It's paced very appropriately.
I think, take your family to it. It's a good, just like...
Thanksgiving.
Right. It's a great inspirational movie with some heart to it, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we got to go or watch it or don't. Be sure to subscribe for more content, and we will see you next time.